It's Tuesday morning. We are coming to you live from the Government Information Center here in the capital. The time is 1:10 o'clock. I'm your host, Grace Cavey. Please do join us on our social media platforms to be part of this conversation. Facebook is at Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, YouTube at MICT Namibia. Today we are focusing on agro-marketing trade agency, AMTA, on our information sharing session. AMTA strives to be a center of excellence in facilitating food security and agricultural marketing and trade in Namibia. To give us a broader overview, we are joined by Ms. Pascal Elijah, the Acting Manager, Marketing and Corporate Communications at AMTA. Good morning, Ms. Elijah, and welcome to the Government Information Center studios.
Thank you. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for having us, as well as a very good morning to the viewers and the listeners out there.
Great. Please. To start our discussion, Ms. Elijah, briefly provide an overview of AMTA's mandate and how it supports Namibia's agricultural sector, particularly in bridging the gap between farmers and markets.
Thank you very much, Madam Grace. So the Agro Marketing and Trade Agency, AMTA, was established in 2013, then under the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. Well, now we have the aspect of fisheries and land reform. So we were established to manage the National Strategic Food Reserves, which are commonly known as the silos, as well as manage the fresh produce business hubs. So in this sense is that the Agro Marketing and Trade Agency, AMTA, was basically established to ensure or to become the middleman between our producers, the local farmers, as well as the consumers. So the whole idea is just to assist our local farmers, ensure that what is produced locally eventually gets to reach the market. So how do we then get to do this? The Agro Marketing and Trade Agency currently manages 5 strategic food reserves, they're commonly known as silos. We have in Katima Mulilo, which is the biggest in terms of holding capacity or storage capacity. We also have in Nundu. We have one in Omuthia, Okongo, and Tsandi. So this is where we get to store the grain that we get to market, which is mostly the white maize, as well as the peel millet, which is known as the mahango. So we buy from our local farmers, we store, or we reserve, and then release in times of need. Initially, AMTA would then buy these grain products from our farmers, store the products, and then release only when there is a need, or we'll say there's been drought in the country. Through the Office of the Prime Minister, we get to release and supply wherever there is a need. However, over the years, also in terms of our sustainability, as well as maintaining the quality of these products, we add now value to these grain products such that we opened or established a milling facility in the Kavango West at Katutu Settlement, that these grain products that we buy from our farmers, we mill and eventually get to supply or sell the finished product in the white maize or the mahango flour itself. Yeah. So in the aspect of the National Strategic Food Reserves, we have 3 of them countrywide. We have in Rundu, in the Kavango East. We also have in the Oshana region, in Ongwediva, as well as here in Windhoek, where our head office is. But one aspect that I would like to highlight here in terms of the fresh produce business hubs is that this is one message we usually take to our farmers, stakeholders, to say, despite us having these 3 centers, it should not be a barrier or a limiting factor to you as a producer, because the agro marketing will be able to reach to you as a farmer or as a producer. So wherever you find yourself in the country, AMTA is able to get to these farmers. So how do we get to do this? Through these fresh produce business hubs. This is where we get to buy the horticultural products, vegetables, fruits from our local farmers, and then we market and trade at these facilities. So in a nutshell, this is who AMTA is, who we are, and in addition to that is that the fresh produce business hubs were established such that we provide in terms of trading flows, as well as cold storage facilities, because you will agree with me that it's been an over or a prolonged issues where back in the days farmers will bring in their products and where they struggle to say how do they get to sell their products. However, with these facilities being in place, AMTA is able to store these products and they get now to have a prolonged life shelf of these products. In a way, you get to have products being on our shelves for a longer period as opposed to having these products being spoiled and not reaching the market with the proper quality that the market requires. Yes.
So basically, that is how AMTA facilitate market access for small holder farmers.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. Now, my next question is, what role is AMTA playing in the agro-processing, and what are some of the value addition projects that AMTA has implemented?
Okay. Before I actually get to touch on that one, there's one aspect that I would like to highlight in terms of the fresh produce business hubs, where AMTA would buy from our local farmers. Back in the days, or before the changing or the changing of the operational model was that AMTA would buy these products from the local farmers. So once they get to buy would take up products from the local farmers, store, and then wait for a market. In cases where there is no market, it would be then a loss both on the farmers as well as the agency itself. However, AMTA has changed this operation in terms of saying we should not now have this as a burden on our farmers. So what AMTA does now is that we buy the products from the farmers themselves. It's no longer a thing of you bringing your products. If now there's been a wastage or loss, it then becomes you as a farmer's loss. So we buy directly from the farmers, then we find a market and we sell wherever it is now available. Yeah, so this is how we have changed in terms of our operation. So just to give assurance to the farmers to say that your part is just to produce.
Okay.
When you're done producing, we will take up the products and we will eventually sell wherever the market is available. And also, first thing first is that as a producer or as a farmer, is that you need to be registered by the Namibian Agronomic Board. This is just for us to be able to know that we are actually working with our local farmers. So it's a way of us recognizing that these are our Namibian farmers that we are supporting and eventually, contribute to the Namibian economy through these farmers. So you as a farmer, you need to be registered first. Once you've registered with the Namibian farmers, it's two ways that we can with Namibian Agronomic Board, it's two ways that you can get to supply us these products. One is that, remember, we don't want to strain our farmers. We do not want to, we know these are busy people and we want them to just produce and supply the products. So how you can get to supply us these products is that we can either enter into a contract with you as a farmer. So the contract is simple as such, is that the contract will tell us the quantities of the products that you'll be supplying us, how often, and us having a standing contract is that it's easier with us as AMTA, as well as now the operation team, to say they get to keep stock of what is it that you'll be supplying us in the end. Or let's say you have readily available products and you are struggling with the market. All you need to do is just bring the sample to AMTA, and if we are happy with the standard or the quality of the product, we will eventually take up the product and then sell. So simple as such. Now, in terms of the value addition and agro-processing, so I have highlighted one aspect in terms of the NSFR, where we have a milling facility in the Kavango West, Katutu settlement. This is where we add value on the grain products. We mill and eventually sell it in a finished product as white maize meal or the mahango flour. And additionally, in terms of our horticultural products, you will agree with me that over the past years, we've recorded incidents or cases where products are produced. However, they get to, there's so much that is produced and then goes to waste. And such of these products, you look at the tomatoes, you look at the cabbages, quite a lot of them. So what AMTA has done is that, as opposed to these products now going into waste, why not add value to the product? So we've come up with an initiative to add value to these products, and a number of the prototypes have been identified. And so since the beginning of July, the Agro Marketing and Trade Agency announced its prototypes, the products that we have been, taking to the stakeholders, to our customers and the farmers themselves to say, these are the prototypes that we would want to introduce to the markets from the products that we buy from our local farmers. For example, as opposed to, I'll give an example of the tomatoes. So as opposed to us now buying the tomatoes as they are and sell them exactly in the raw form as we got them from our farmers. So what AMTA is doing is that we are now adding value to this tomato. So we come up with either a tomato paste or the tomato sauce or the tomato jam. So this is just a way of encouraging our farmers to say, when you have produced your products, you have already a secured market. And this secured market is that we will not also just sell the products in the raw forms as they were or how we got from the farmers, but it means that we will also add value to the products and sell these products, because these products are what we eat every day in our houses. And definitely there is demand. If there is demand, it means that we need to do it locally. And I can give an example of the fishing industry. These are people that are always on sea, and most of the products that they get to eat is products that are already processed and pre-packed. So why not target these markets and ensure that of the products that we are getting from our farmers actually get to reach this market? So this is the whole idea. Additionally, from the tomato paste and the tomato jams and others is our indigenous products such as the melons. So we are also producing, prototyping the melon to say you can also get your Kalahari jam. So AMTA has entered, through this initiative, we have entered into an agreement or a memorandum of understanding with Essential Foods, such that we are able now to, upscale this value addition to roll out. So we are not yet selling this product. So what we have been doing for the past few months is that we've been allowing the public have a taste of these products, and with the instant and positive feedback that we will get from our farmers, I tell you, Madam Grace, we will be able to sell these products or have them on our shelves. And I can tell you that from a few engagements that we've had so far, the positive seems to be quite positive, and the public is, welcoming the initiative. And in addition to our value addition, AMTA also launched its water. So we are also into, this is the diversification part that comes in. So AMTA is also now selling or is bottling its purified water. So we do have our machinery by our head office here in Windhoek at La France. So we bottle ourselves and then we get to sell. So you can also, when you make a turn at our Windhoek hub, is that you can also buy your products. Not only are you going to buy your fresh products or your vegetables, fruits and all that, but you can also get to buy your water. You bring your empty bottle, you can refill, or you can already buy the bottled water. And this water is available at all our fresh produce business hubs. So if you go to Rundu, you go to Ongwediva, you will be able to have a taste of our water. So these are just quite some of the initiatives that AMTA has implemented, and we look forward to this value addition. And you will agree with me that of late, even Her Excellency herself, agriculture is one of key priority areas that they would want to, ensure that it is invested accordingly. And AMTA is also just trying to also, maintain the same pace. So, yeah.
Ms. Elijah, let me take you back a little bit. Please take us through the registration process of a farmer sitting with a big garden at GAM.
Okay.
How do they register?
Okay. Thank you so much. So, like I indicated, taking cognizant that we only have facilities in these areas that I have highlighted, and GAM is within the Oshoni, the Juba region.
Correct.
Yeah. So, what happens is that we work closely with the Ministry of Agriculture, such that they can always visit the agricultural extension offices, right? So in terms of you being registered as a farmer, is that you register through the Namibian Agronomic Board, who are the regulators. So the Namibian Agronomic Board is that their registration is accessible. We live in a digital era. We wouldn't want to limit our farmers or our producers. So what happens here is that As far as GAM or wherever you find yourself, provided you have access to your smartphone, is that you can do your registration online. The registration as being a producer with the Namibian Agronomic Board, you can just visit the website, you download the registration form, and then off you do. So the registration is free of charge. There is no amount attached to it. So once you've been registered, then AMTA will take it up with you. This is where the requirements or the two initially highlighted requirements in terms of you supplying our products comes in. So by then it means you have been recognized as a producer. And when you are doing the registration, it will also indicate, or you will indicate, the type of products that you will be supplying in terms of what you are farming. So when you've done that, we are definitely ready to do business with the farmers.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a great opportunity for all the farmers
Definitely.
across here. How does AMTA ensure quality standards and compliance with market requirements for agricultural products?
Okay. Thank you so much. So in a sector that we find ourselves is that we do have partners that we work closely with, and also in terms of now as AMTA internally, we do have a division that is solely responsible in ensuring that we get to sell or trade or market what is required in the market. So in that sense is that, remember I indicated from the beginning that we do have operations officer. So the whole idea of us now being involved from the production stage is that we should be able in the end to harvest or sell products that will be able to attract premium, quality. So what we are doing here is that the internal stakeholders or the staff that are responsible with standards will ensure that once you bring your products within AMTA, we'll be able to see if the product really or does meet the requirements. And also having said that, we have a division that does in terms of assisting our farmers is that when we have, say for example, Madam Grace is a producer from GAM, and they have noted their interest in marketing their products through AMTA. So from the onset, from the production stage itself, maybe Madam Grace is also not too sure to say what is it that is in demand currently, what products can one venture into. So we'll be able to assist you to say, perhaps look into this type of products, and these are the type of seeds one can also make use of, so that you also are sure that in the end, the product that you are going to get is what is required also in the market. So in that process, we are both as AMTA and the farmer assured that our product that will be harvested will reach the customers, and customers will be happy in terms of quality. And also we have different stakeholders that get to do, quantifying or qualifying these products, as well as, the regulator themselves, the Namibian Agronomic Board. So the products that we get to market is, certified and qualified as good products that gets to go to the market. So in a nutshell, this is how the process works. Yeah. And also, if I can also just add on to that, is that we find farmers, because they are into different areas across the country, and AMTA with its logistical facilities, we are able to ensure that should you note or indicate that you are not able to supply or bring, the products to AMTA, we will be able to pick up or collect these products from your farms to ensure that this product still gets to reach ourselves in the quality that we would still want, and also still have, a lifelong shelf on our shelves for marketing and trading.
I like that. Let's talk about job creation. How does AMTA's work in value addition to contribute to job creation, food security, and economic diversification in Namibia?
That's a good one. So we speak about food security, and I will tell you that where we are currently, we still depend on outside, because most of our products we still, still import. And but we would want to change the status quo, and of course it's a collective effort, not from AMTA alone, but within the whole industry or the sector itself. So, with that being said, when we are now adding the venture that we are now going into, when we add value into these products, first things first is that we are assuring our farmers, right? We are assuring these farmers that they will get their market. So what do they need to do? It means they need to produce more. As opposed to me now, previously I would perhaps just apply to AMTA 1 crate of tomato or green pepper. If I know that there is a secured market, it means I will now expand my farm. Once I have expanded my farm, I will also produce more. So what are we doing in that sense? AMTA now getting to buy these products from the farmers. It means that now their income has eventually upscaled. It has increased from what they would sell previously. It has grown. So this is what you are doing. You are providing food for them. You are providing an income, and eventually, having this job creation. Additionally, in the value addition is that the job creation, what we are doing is that we also get to employ people that will be responsible with adding value to these products. So this is also one aspect that now contributes to the Namibian economy, because you have not only improved the livelihood of this farmer who's down there, but you are also ensuring that in the end, they also get to grow. Not only will they be small-scale holder farmers, they will also become the commercial farmers of the future. So this in doing the processing or as adding value to these products, it means that we are giving assurance to the farmers. We are, promoting or encouraging more production locally. And when we've done that, it means that we will do away with importing. Then the money circulates within our local economy, as opposed to us now taking the money elsewhere.
Correct. As we are nearing the end of our conversation, what challenges does AMTA face in terms of marketing and trading of agricultural products?
Like any other, of course, the first aspect is in terms of the financial resource. Obviously, financial resources are always limited because there is so much that one would want to do. However, with finances, you are limited. This also now comes in terms of now uptaking everything, say what is in the market. And I would like to indicate that in terms of some of the challenges that we face with our local products is that, with our farmers, when Pasval is farming tomatoes or cabbages, Grace will also be doing the same.
Exactly.
So eventually the market becomes flooded with the same product. So when the market becomes flooded with the same product, it then becomes difficult to say, how then do we get to market these products? So what we encourage our farmers is that they should at least have, or we should have at least cropping calendars. When you know that farmer A is into tomatoes, see what other products one can do, so that it's a continuation of supplying products, because the inconsistency becomes in, because as opposed to us having tomatoes, cabbages, green pepper, or any other product, is that we find ourselves having the same products at the same time. So it becomes difficult for us to supply consistently to wherever we need now to sell the products, because all the farmers have one product, and now we can't supply consistently of the same product, of a variety of products that we usually do. So this is also one of the challenges that we sit with in terms of the consistency from our farmers in terms of now supplying the product. So if we get to work together collectively to say, okay, fine, if farmer A has this type of product, farmer B would also have this type of product, it becomes very easier in ensuring that, okay, we have a variety of these products within the market. And also it will not have so much effect in terms of the prices, because if all of the farmers have the same product at the same time, you will see that even the prices also becomes an issue, to say, since everybody else has the products and they would want to just let go of these products. So yeah.
Great. Looking ahead, Ms. Elijah, what are AMTA's strategic priorities for scaling up value addition and agro-processing, and how do these align with Namibia's national development goals?
Okay, thank you so much. Before I touch base on that question, in my last point, I highlighted the aspect of price, and I just thought it's best that I just bring it out to the stakeholders, because this is one concern that we get most of the times from our farmers specifically, to say AMTA gets to give them these prices of the products. We sit in silos and decide on what type of on the prices that we are selling these products or buying from our farmers. So what happens in terms of price setting is that we have a regulator, the Namibian Agronomic Board. So through this regulator, and the playing partners, which are the farmers' union, the farmers themselves, they get to sit what is in the market and look at what are the inputs or the factors that would then influence the prices. And once they've had these discussions and agree on prices, these prices are then gazetted and then given to all the traders and millers within the country, AMTA included. So prices are not set individually or in silos by AMTA and indicate or give to the farmers, say, these are the prices, but this is an agreed price from the regulator themselves with all the industry or the sector players involved, such that AMTA is also included in making use of the price. So the thing of, or the issue of saying AMTA, you know, gets to set prices in silos and then just give to the farmers does not really exist. So moving to the strategic priorities is that I would like to mention that, you know, agriculture, or somebody said it's the backbone, and somebody said it's no longer a backbone, it's our neck, because if you do not have a neck, it means you are gone.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do? You need to strengthen this sector. And us doing that is that it should be a collective effort. And also, let me highlight on that to say, what we get to absorb from our local farmers, right, should be able to be supplied to different markets. When I say that, I'm including our OMAs. And this is a market that we need to create locally for our products. Because I'll give an example for the Commerce region. If you have farmers within the Commerce region that are producing different types of products, what we are saying is that these products should be able to be consumed within the Commerce region. And by so doing, it means that we will not struggle with the market. Because one, if we have the Ministry of Health, we have hospitals, right? We have prisons, we have schools. All of these institutions, they get to eat, they get to consume these products. So as opposed to now getting these products elsewhere, why don't we then, you know, absorb collectively through AMTA these products, then we sell or supply wherever there is a need. So what I'm trying to say is that we need stakeholders' support. Stakeholder support is that the OMAs should come on board in ensuring that the products that are locally produced by our farmers should be consumed locally through these different OMAs or this institution before, you know, we can eventually look at different supermarkets and retails to say they should also get to market these our local products. So for our strategic priority areas is that we are still looking into value addition and agro-processing. The prototypes that have been identified, this is just now minimal of what have been put into place, and we look at upscaling this to say we will still look at more of what products can be, you know, value or added value onto. You also look at the products like our indigenous mangoes. Mangoes are like, now we are towards that season that these products will now be full in our market. So what do we do with these products? So if now they are not sold as they are, it means most of them just goes to waste. So these are just some of the products that if not added value to, they will go to waste. So some of the products is that we can also now come up with mango juice. Also our indigenous maguni, from mostly the Kavango regions. Also those are some of the products. And also if I can just highlight this is that in the last financial year, AMTA ran a tender to establish, to actually do a feasibility study that will direct into establishing a distribution center in the Zambezi region in Katima Mlilo. So Zambezi region is also one of the key areas that have been identified to say there's so much potential in terms of them producing horticultural products. So as opposed to them now supplying to the nearest that is in the Kavango region, why not have a distribution center? So it just basically allows them have the products also being marketed through that distribution center. Also, we look at our National Strategic Food Reserve. You know, this is a discussion that we usually have to say, our current holding capacity or storage capacity stands only at 22,900 metric ton. So this holding or storage capacity, say now we are struck with a calamity in the country, will we be able to feed Namibia as a nation? Unfortunately not,
Don't.
because our storage facilities are not, at that capacity to ensure that in the end, should we find ourselves in a situation, see what happened during COVID, Let's say now it comes and it's prolonged, that we are unable to get anything from outside. It means Namibia will starve as a country. So this is also one key area that the agency has been into discussion and looking into, to say, if possible, let's then get to expand our storage facilities to ensure that we do have enough to feed a Namibian child. Yes.
And this will be realized when stakeholders come on board.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And also the mother ministry, the mother ministry, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Elijah, we have come to the end of our conversation. Any final remarks?
Thank you so much for having us. This was a great initiative, and what we would like to just highlight is that, as farmers, as producers, as consumers, this is our, when we look at, when we speak about food security, how do we then get to strengthen this? AMTA as an individual will not be able to achieve the dream of, being independent in terms of food security. So collectively, should we invest the right resources, right investment in the right areas? Definitely, Namibia as a country, we are able to feed ourselves. So what we need to do is to come together collectively, different stakeholders, and ensure that, or play together, how do we bring these resources so that we produce or we maximize what can be maximized within the country. By so doing, it means we should be able to feed ourselves, as opposed to us depending to other countries, because if the borders are closed, we will not be able to eat. Yeah. So as an independent country, we should also be an independent country in terms of feeding ourselves. So in closing, I would just say, let's come together. Let's bring, we are actually open to discussions. We are open to engagements, whatever can assist us in achieving this, dream of becoming a food security country or secured country. AMTA is definitely open to that.
Ms.
Thank
Elijah,
you so much.
My pleasure. Ms. Elijah, I would also like to thank you for coming to our studios and giving us this information.
Thank you so much for having us.
Agriculture is one of the key sectors for economic growth in our country. Farmers, please play your part. Take up this opportunity. You have the support. Namibia, that is all we had for you from the Garmin Information Center. It's a goodbye.